Hello, this is Ninja Lawar from Lightcast TV, and what's trending currently around the counties is the pandemonium, the crisis, and the wranglings that are going on between the MCAs and their leadership, that is the deputy and governors of their counties. Impeached Nyamira County Assembly Speaker Enoch Okero and 8 MCAs hold a parallel sitting using plastic chairs, while the rest of MCAs hold session in the Nyamira County Assembly under acting Speaker Nyabaro. Now, just to get to the bottom of this and just find the details on the history behind this, we find that in the month of October 8th of Tuesday, Nyamira MCAs traded blows while forcefully ejecting Speaker during proceedings. Tensions erupted in the Nyamira County Assembly on Tuesday as Speaker Enoch Okello was forcefully ejected from his office by a group of furious MCAs. Moments before the Speaker was ejected from the Assembly, MCAs traded blows in their chambers, forcing the suspension of House business. The dramatic ousting came just weeks after the failed impeachment of Governor Amos Nyaribo, a sign of ongoing infighting within the county's leadership. Okello's removal highlights the growing power struggles that threaten to destabilize the county. And footage captured by bystanders shows MCAs physically removing Okello from his office, pushing him towards his car while confiscating documents he was holding. The confrontation stems from allegations of corruption, with Okello accused of collaborating with a faction that sought to protect Governor Nyaribo from impeachment. The chaos unfolded as Okello was preparing to read out court orders that would have reinstated former majority leader Mr. Mose and 2 members of the County Assembly Service Board. These individuals have been removed from office for their support of Nyaribo during last month's impeachment bid. The MCAs, many of whom backed the governor's ouster, vehemently opposed the reinstatement. This is just the later chapter in Nyamira's turbulent political scene, and also in the month of September, Nyaribo narrowly survived impeachment when 22 out of 34 MCAs voted in favor of his removal. The motion required 23 votes to pass, sparing the governor by a single vote. The failure to oust Nyaribo has left a bitter rift among the MCAs, with many seeking revenge on those who thwarted their efforts. Tensions have been simmering ever since Nyaribo's close call with impeachment. The governor had faced accusations of gross violation of the Constitution and incompetence, allegations that could have brought his tenure to an abrupt end. However, with just 12 votes against the motion and none abstaining, Nyaribo's political survival has only deepened divisions within the assembly. During the impeachment proceedings, the MCAs argued that Nyaribo had violated Article 181 of the Constitution and failed in his duties as governor. One MCA boldly declared the Assembly's intent to impeach the governor, citing the County Government Act and standing orders. This was not the first time Nyaribo had faced such scrutiny. He narrowly survived a similar attempt 11 months ago. And also we find in another county, Kericho County, MCAs moved to impeach Deputy Speaker despite Ruto's order. Now, this is something that was unprecedented. This is something that is happening. We are seeing squabbles, we are seeing fights, we are seeing wrangles between the MCAs and the governors. Don, what is your take on this?
Yeah, we are seeing those issues, and the issues actually didn't start with them only. It started way back with the Meru County. I think the Meru County MCAs are the ones started this. Walianza this series of impeaching the governor, that is Mwangaza, And that begs a question like, with this continuous push by the MCAs to remove the governors or the CECs that the governors have appointed, was this, someone may ask, was this really the goal of the goal, the minds behind the people who came up with the 2010 constitution? What do you think? Because according to me, the MCAs are so far becoming a nuisance, if I can say. Because for example, there are, I can say that there are kuna issues zingine zenye watu wanaweza come up nazo, and then they, before maybe they proceed to take a step of maybe impeaching the governor or impeaching a CEC, they should first of all maybe sit and down and talk out some issues, because not every issues that come up should make the governor to be impeached. Of course, there are those gross violations of the constitution, but according to me, the MCAs should first of all sit down with the governor and talk some things out, and don't bring a lot of politics that are not necessary to the wananchi pale kwa ground, because wananchi, what they want development, and they want the services delivered to them. Maybe they voted for that governor to bring the services to them and bring development projects to them. So according to me, it's not necessary for MCAs to bring such drama to the people. And the MCAs may be bringing these issues because I think the constitution doesn't have much for them in terms of qualification for them to meet. And according to me, an MCA is someone that is creating laws pale kwa counties, and the counties, the MCAs are the ones that wako na watu, they are in touch with the people more than even the MPs and other maybe leaders such as the governors and the senators. So I think as much as the constitution downplayed the role of the MCAs, I think it's becoming evident that the MCAs are now becoming a thorn in the flesh in the implementation of projects by the governors pale mashinani, because if the MCAs, all they have to do is to impeach all the time. For example, we see the issues of Mwangaza. So Mwangaza, we see that as much as maybe she has broken the law, they should give the governor a space to breathe and to think of delivering unto the people. Just because he was elected as an independent governor doesn't mean that she doesn't have the right to deliver to the wananchi. Because for a governor to go and beat like the two main parties, that is the Azimio and the Kenya Kwanza strongholds, that was quite interesting, and it took her faith for her to approach that issue, because it's not easy to defeat Ruto's UDA and Raila's Azimio candidates. And actually, before we proceed, we can see that the qualification. Let's first of all go through the qualifications for one to become an MCA. The qualification, the requirements for one to become an MCA.
Mm-hmm.
And because of qualification number one, that's according to the 2010 constitution. Qualification number one must have a Kenyan citizen. But one must have been a Kenyan citizen for at least 10 years before the election. And number two, one must be a registered voter, must not owe allegiance to a foreign state. One should be nominated by a political party or is an independent candidate, must meet the statutory moral and ethical requirements under the Leadership and Integrity Act, must not be a public officer or acting in any state of public office other than a member of the county assembly must not hold dual citizenship unless citizenship of the other country has been obtained by operation of law without capacity to opt out, must not be discharged bankrupt, must not be a person of unsound mind, must not be subject to a sentence or of imprisonment of at least 6 months from the day of registration of candidates or dates of election, must not have been found to have abused or misused state of state or public office or contravened chapter 6 of the constitution, must not have been dismissed or removed from public office for contravening the provisions of Article 75, 76, 77, and 78 of the Constitution.
Maybe if we can continue from where you have left off.
Yeah, no, the requirements for one to become the MCS.
So the requirements for one to become an MCA. So if you're planning in the year 2027 to vie for the seat of an MCA, then the candidate must submit the following documents. So you should submit the following documents to IEBC during the commission nomination. Number one is the copy of a national ID card, valid passport, and the document used by the candidate to register as a voter. A passport-sized photograph with white background submitted in electronic and printed copy. If a party candidate, a nomination certificate from a fully registered political party nominating the candidate, duly signed by an authorized official of the party, a duly signed and dated code of conduct, according to second schedule of the Elections Act 2011, a duly filled commission nomination form, including an original statutory declaration form for purposes of nomination, Regulation 18.3, Elections General Regulations 2012, and an original self-declaration form, Regulation 46 of Elections General Regulations 2012, nomination fees in a banker's check payable to IEBC 5,000 for candidates and 2,500 for a candidate who is a youth, woman, or a PWD. Additional requirements for independent MCA candidates: a clearance certificate from the registrar of political party certifying that the person was not a member of any political party for the last 3 months before the elections, according to Regulation 15A, General Regulations 2012, an electronic and printed copy of a list of at least 500 supporters in the prescribed form submitted to the commission, a duly filled form of intention to contest submitted to the commission in the prescribed form, a symbol the candidate intends to use during the election which has been approved by the commission, and establish and maintain a functioning office in the respective electoral area where the candidate is contesting, which must be available for inspection by the commission at least 45 days before the elections. The address, including the physical address of the office, must be communicated to the commission.
Yeah, so from those requirements and qualifications, we have not seen anywhere they mentioning about education. Or is there?
No, I don't think so. I don't think.
So according to the constitution,
Yeah.
or according to those qualification and requirements we've outlined, that means that education isn't a big deal. And now that's where the mistake came from, because that opens door for any other person out there that wants to become an MCA or wants to elevate his political career can start by being an MCA. Because we've seen there are some people. There's a governor right now who became a governor, and back then he was an MCA. we have a senator who was an MCA. Because that means that a person may use that step to grow his career or her career in politics, isn't it? So, according to me now, that's where the mistake came from. Now, like there, it's like there's no a definite educational requirement for you to become an MCA, and that's where the issues come from. Because we've seen that an MCA is like an MP in the county level. So for you to be an MP, you should have those legal requirements for you to be maybe that reasoning capacity and that mind to create laws that are, because you are there as a representative of people pale kwa county assemblies. It's like county is a mini country, and you are there now creating laws that are affecting the people. So we see that pale kwa county level kuna form 4 level mwenye amekuwa nominated or appointed or elected MCA and represent a person that has been that is having a degree, a person that maybe can a rich person or a person, people of different qualifications. So I think they should add a requirement for a person to attain at least a degree for a person to be elected as even be elected, to think of becoming an MCA pale kwa county level ama kwa ward level.
So I think you've raised a very critical point in matters to do with education, technocracy, professionalism. I think that is something that is critically lacking amongst the MCAs, seeing what has been happening since the induction of the 2010 constitution, whereby we had the counties being brought in, we had the institutions whereby we have MCAs, women rep, senate, governors now in charge of the counties. Now, before I delve into what you just alluded to in matters to do with education, I want us to look at what are some of the roles that the MCA play. You know, we could be talking about the issue of the MCA, but maybe there are listeners out there who don't actually understand the role of an MCA in the county. Kazi yao ni nini? Let us go back to the drawing board and understand the role of the members of the county assemblies. So the role of the members of the county assemblies or ward representatives in Kenya is diverse. So the major role of the members of the county assembly is legislation, representation, and oversight. And in addition, the County Governments Act stipulates the role of the MCAs in the Constitution under Section 9. So another role that is very critical for the MCAs is to maintain close contact with the electorate. They should consult them on issues before or under discussion in the county assembly. And this means that they should not disappear once elected, only to reappear 5 years later seeking for re-election. So the MCA should strive to be in close contact with those who elected them, and they should be available when the people need them, and they should be approachable. So according to research that has been carried out by several research firms in Kenya, it is said that several public surveys indicate that Kenyans interact with the MCAs more compared to other elected representatives. What does this mean? That the public trust and confidence in MCAs is high compared to other elected representatives. So therefore,
that is very true.
The MCAs should strive to inform the electorate on issues before the assembly, and they should consult the electorate and vote on the issues according to the people's wishes. They are also supposed to attend sessions of the county assembly and its committees, of whereby we are now seeing their wranglings, their push and pull. There is a lot of pandemonium. Aside from that, the other role of the MCA is to provide a linkage between the county assembly and the electorate on public service delivery. You see, people put their trust in the MCS because the role of the MCS ties strongly to oversight. So people put their trust in the MCS to ensure that the county executive implements county projects, and the MCS have a crucial role to ensure that the county government delivers services directly and ensure that there are enough funds for the provision of services. So it is only through consultation that MCS provide linkage with the electorate. They consult the assembly and they go back to consult their electorate. So they organize public forums, Kamukunji, to seek public views on county government plans. And also they present the public views before the assembly. They facilitate this linkage. They are actually very important. The MCAs actually mobilize residents to identify priority projects for the county government to implement, thereby facilitating public service delivery. Now, coming back to the topic that you had raised, the issue of technocracy, the issue of professionalism, and the issue of having the educational or academic qualifications. So, actually, the other role of the MCAs is to extend professional knowledge, experience, or specialized knowledge to any issue for discussion in the county assembly. So, since the year 2013, when the constitution was actually being actualized with the president at the time, who was Uhuru Kenyatta, it has been under scrutiny on the MCA's character and their way of conduct in matters to do with leadership and governance. They have been under scrutiny since 2013. They face constant criticism for lacking professional knowledge, like you have highlighted, experience, and specialized knowledge to run county assembly affairs. You see, at the beginning, many were unable to participate in assembly debates or make laws. You find somebody from high school, maybe he's 20, 25 years old, and he has never actually had the experience of talking in a baraza or maybe airing an issue that is of critical importance to the community or to the people around him, let alone being in school. Maybe he has been just a lone ranger in school, and now he felt that he needed to have this leadership so that he may go and affect change. Now, to affect change, there needs to be preparation, and that is something maybe they didn't have under their fingertips. So there are a good number of them who do not participate in assembly debates or make laws that were above scrutiny. There are a good number of MCAs whose level of education is only a primary or a secondary certificate. Several others are school dropouts. Unaonekana tu ukisaidia watu ambao hawajiwezi, but yet you are right, your heart is right in the right place, but when it comes to scrutiny in terms of leadership, in terms of the criteria that is needed for you to actually enter the house where you can implement and ensure that services are rendered to the common mwananchi, you do not qualify in matters to do with education. So despite that, the MCAs, I think it's important that now that we have education, we have free online courses, we have professional courses, we have schools, we have universities, we have colleges, whereby these MCAs can take advantage. They can take advantage and utilize professional qualifications and specialized knowledge to run the county assembly business. And this knowledge is especially essential in the committees. When you are told to head the financial committee or a budget or tax committee, you must have some level of competence, right? You must learn something to do with finance, economics, and the whole economic system on how the government works in terms of remittance, in terms of returns, in terms of inventory and all that, procurement, everything to do with finance, the monies that is required, you know, everything to do with service delivery. You need at least to have the basics of that. Yeah. So this knowledge is very essential. Niambie wewe ni mtu umemaliza form 4, you have not yet acquired any post academic qualification as a MCA, watu wamekuchagua kwa sababu wameona unafanya kazi nzuri. Yeah, that is good. But there is some level of technical knowledge, the technical know-how in matters to do with finance, in matters to do with leadership, that needs to be there. And I want to stress that MCAs, as much as they have not gotten their degrees, as much as they have not gone to college, at least they need to do a certificate or a diploma in leadership and governance, because they are going to lead people, because they are going to, fight for their wards, to have services and to ensure that the people who are vulnerable are taken care of. Yeah. So,
but that depends on a lot of things. For example, they say that people, you see, like an MCA comes out of high school and he has never participated maybe in debates. He has never participated in something that maybe can add into his interest, maybe of becoming a leader after high school. You see, there are things that come out of we've talked of experience. There are some things that is not even about experience, it's about interest. I may not be interested in naweza kuwa sina experience kwa kitu fulani, but I have an interest of pursuing that thing. You see, those are two different things. For example, you can even have experience of leadership, but when you are given that leadership, you don't have interest in it. That's why you find a person that ako hapo and the person just stealing money, public money, is not interested in mambo na wananchi. Because, for example, if we talk about President Ruto and other cabinet secretaries, they have experience in politics. You understand? But in terms of service delivery to the people, they are not doing that as people expect them to do. So there's that interest. Maybe I don't have experience in politics, but I have interest. You see, now interest is what will push you to go learn about leadership in universities, the way that you've said, maybe pursue a particular course that will help me, maybe it's issue to do with finances, that will help me maybe chair committee of finance, maybe in the county level, you see. So those are things that that begs a question, like, what was the reason behind a person waking up and saying that I want to be an MCA? Typically in the pale mashinani, people come out to be MCAs because maybe they have that influence naturally. Maybe there is a family name they're related into. For example, we have the Odinga family, and then maybe wakina Ruto huko mashinani there is a cousin to Ruto who wants to be an MCA because maybe because his cousin is president. You have seen those factors. And then there's this interest here, I want to be rich, of which that's hiyo nimekuwa kwa mind ya wanasiasa wa Kenya. If a person comes up and maybe someone thinks of ways to become rich, he just comes up and says he want to be an MCA, and he creates that. He comes out and campaigns himself out there na kuwa na influence kwa wananchi na pakuebu kuwa naitwaje, akuebu kuwa MCA. You understand? So the interest up until I think is in a lot. I think even apart from maybe qualifying directly, we've seen instances where politicians go buy certificates, degrees, like Sakaja amekuwa accused of that, and then we've seen some people with questionable papers. You understand? So I think even apart from if tukieka that's a whole different issue. Issues of buying, that's a whole different. Like we cannot hold that. For example, we're going to talk about that now, but let's talk about now getting the papers legitimately, because I think pia wananchi wana contribute, because there's a different there's a difference between getting the paper or not having that name. Maybe you're a brother to a politician and standing to be an MCA because we are that, you understand, and now there's that work that you want the MCA to do. Now that becomes a challenge. And then kuna issue umeongea about MCA being there for the people. We have seen instances where the MCAs, they don't know what's happening in mashinani as much as they are expected to be in touch with wananchi. We've seen that issues to do with maybe, for example, there's a road that's not passable kwa mahali fulani. There's a village ama there's a section of a village where there has not kujakuwa na stima for almost 6 months, na MCA doesn't even hata julikani mali huko, anajaienda visit hapo ajue venye kunaenda. And then there's this instance where pia the MCAs come up, maybe they are in touch with the people. We've seen there was an incident somewhere where there was a mudslide ama kulikuwa na kitu kaa hiyo in the Rift Valley, and then the MCA came and did some he went because he was called by the wananchi, and he went and proved by he saw that there is a possibility of mudslide or floods or something like that, like a tragedy that will happen. And then the MCA, I don't know if communicated, they say that he communicated with the governor about the particular issue, and the governor just shoved alichukua tu hiyo issue akaweka kando, and he assumed that thing will not happen. I think there are a lot of factors about that. And then let's focus about MCA with executing the interests of wananchi. For example, in the area that we are, there is this former MCA that during the election, he was there campaigning, and after he was elected, he was not available. The point that we've said about the MCA being available for the wananchi. So after, towards the election, to the 2022 elections, he started now coming up with some things that were looking like projects, and he was now was installing the street lights, and wanaanza kutengeneza some barabara, and then akaanza now he was acting, or he was pretending to be in touch with the people now, and the people were tired of him. People are tired of him because I guess he was an MCA for the past 10 years, and for an MCA you can run as long as you want. I think the constitution doesn't have a limit for an MCA. They just have a limit for the governor and the president, if I'm not wrong. And now an MCA you can run as much as you want, as many years as you want, and the people are tired by his gimmicks. Like that was a pattern. Like after he was elected, anapotea anaenda mitini. Towards election anakuja anapatiana do, anapatia youth, anafanya vitu 1-2. People are tired, and during the election they kicked him out, and after he was kicked out he was angry now, saying that hizo lights nimetengeneza, hizo vitu nitakuja niharibu. And people are like, we do what you have to do, but tumechoka na wewe, you understand? So as much as these things are happening and this drama is happening, people are the ones that are paying the price, the wananchi themselves. So I guess there should be the amendment of that part of education, that as much as it's not automatic that an educated person deliver unto the people, but at least tukwe create that kuna hiyo office at least ikuwe na, how can I put it, as in ikuwe na worth, as in something that you should maybe sweat for you to have it, so that ukue hapo at least ukue who carry that office with honor. Yeah, that office should have some sort of an honor. But the constitution imeweka ofisi MC like it's just another thing that aina ni kama unaweza compare ni kama ofisi ya village elder. Understand? There's no honor in that office. I think they should bring that qualification, raise your standard. Yeah, lazima uattain this standard of education for you to have that office, so that office ikuwe na honor, isikuwe just a random form 4 leaver anaweza kuwa kwa office, because a random form 4 leaver atakuwa hapo like ata operate ni kama just another classroom that alikuwa kwa high school. We are not looking down upon form 4 leavers, but there is that reasoning that a leader should have, that is expected maybe akuwe na hiyo education. Unio imesema kuhead committees, maybe amekuwa appointed in terms of finances na other maybe mambo na agriculture na vitu kama hizo, inafaa kuwe ajue, so that akuwe able ku represent mwananchi vizuri. Apart from maybe representing mwananchi mwenye hajasoma, akuwe able ku represent mwananchi mwenye is a farmer na amesoma, mwananchi mwenye amesoma na ameenda university akasomea agriculture, akasomea maybe mambo na livestock na vitu kama hizo, so that akuwe able ku represent mwananchi vizuri pale kwa county, na pia akuwe able ku launch interest za wananchi pale kwa county, cause it's very easy to influence a person mwenye hajasoma. It's very easy kumconvince otherwise. For example, maybe stand yako ni, for example, stand yako kwa hii gava ni wewe upendi venye Ruto ana approach on agriculture, but you don't have facts. It's very easy for that person to convince otherwise by another person.
I've heard what you've said.
Mm-hmm.
Well, those are things that maybe we need to lobby for that.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe as Lightcast Media we need to lobby for that, but I think that the problem, not only in Kenya but also in the continent of Africa, mm-hmm. the number one problem that is plaguing countries in Africa is leadership.
Yeah.
Leadership is a problem,
mm-hmm.
not only in Kenya. Go to our neighbors here in Uganda. You remember what happened to Kiza Besigye, akafika Uganda, and all that drama. You go to West Africa, go to Sudan, go to North, everywhere. There's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And as Kenyans, we need to address this issue of leadership, of which I think it's important actually to rewire.
Mm-hmm.
We need to rethink. I think this is a conversation that needs to start even amongst the politicians. And this is something, it is I'm calling upon the fourth estate, the mainstream media.
Mm-hmm.
This is a clarion call from Lightcast Media. We have seen so much, we have been disappointed by the leadership.
Yeah.
From time immemorial, we have read history,
mm-hmm.
and we have seen how leadership has not met the standards. It has not actually enabled the country to move forward in matters to do with the economy. Mm-hmm. My question is there a way that as a country we can rewire, we can rethink, we can redo?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way we can change the way we do our politics? Is there a way that we can change, redo, rewire, do a paradigm shift of the way we do our politics, the way these politicians get into their offices, into their political seats? Is there a way we can change that? Is there a way that as the members of the common mwananchi we can make these leaders
mm-hmm.
to be very much accountable? Is
mm-hmm.
there a way that we can ensure that public institutions, governmental institutions are actually doing their work? The EACC,
mm-hmm.
the NIC, these public institutions that actually are responsible for holding this political class accountable in matters to do with leadership and governance, in matters to do with corruption, in matters to do with ethics, in matters to do with the moral code of conduct. I think there needs to be a conversation around that. How can we redo things? From the top? We see a problem with the leadership of this country, President Ruto, and the way he chose Rigathi Gachagua just to be his puppet, only to be thrown off after 2.5 years. And the person that he chose was only to give him a seat, of which maybe it was a political move on his part to gain, to win the elections. But then again, look at the past 2.5 years. 2 years and 2 months. Like, what can we say that this government has really done? What tangible thing can we say that president has really done apart from having a culture of lies? Maybe there are things that he has done, but I think that he has lost confidence, especially with the people from Mount Kenya community. And he has remained with a few years, 2 years and a few months to go to 2027. So I think it's about time that as Kenyans, we need to rethink our leadership strategy, our political leadership strategy, and how we engage as citizens, and how we ensure that our leaders are held accountable. Our leaders are actually technocrats. Our leaders are actually of integrity. I think the word integrity is one of the most important and fundamental tools that our leaders are missing. Don?
Yeah, so you asked what has President Ruto done. First of all, he has promised people. He has made a lot of promises. So I think even if published zikiwekwa kwa kitabu itakuwa just a lot of chapters na a lot of editions. So yeah, that he has done successfully. Na pia he has begged Kenyans for more time to bring development. He has said that many of his politicians or his follower politicians are saying that 2 years is little for us to judge him. And he's saying 2 years. They are saying 2 years and almost 2.5 years is little to judge Ruto by performances. And the last time I had Nairobi Governor Sakaja saying that we cannot judge Ruto, and because he cannot correct the 20 years, not the 60 years mistakes by 2 years. So that begs a question, like, did we elect Ruto, or did Ruto get elected for him to correct the mistakes, or was he elected to bring development the way he can to the people? And that's a question that many people should answer. So you can also participate on this agenda by commenting up the comment section of this video by YouTube. And you can also follow us on Facebook, Lightcast TV Kenya, follow us on TikTok, Lightcast TV Kenya, and let's rethink this issue to do with the MCAs about the qualification of their qualification to hold that office. And also you can also tell us your mind on that issue to do with the leadership as general, because even apart from maybe MCS being Form 4 dropouts, we've had those people that even hold a degree, genuine degree, but are not delivering to the people, especially from Nyanza region. Right now we have intellectuals in the energy sector led by Opio and I, and we have finance side, we have John Badi, and we are seeing still there's drama. So let's tell us what you think, and see you on the other video. I've been your host, Martin.
And I'm Ninja Kolek.
Yeah, see you on the other video.